Hello once again, peeps, and you join us on episode 4 in this week a special episode dedicated to our deep dives into who should have been the final opponent of John Cena. I've already discussed The Rock, Edge and Randy Orton, so please ensure you watch those if you did miss them. At time of recording, we are now less than 24 hours until the big match takes place against Gunther. But who else could it have been? As we know, the IWC has been full of ideas about this all year, and there's so many different names being thrown around. I'm going to go through as many as I can in detail, and give a rating out of 10 on the following areas. Number 1, how much it makes sense from a storyline point of view. Number 2, how likely the match was going to happen. And number 3, how good the match would have been. Before we get into today's person, I had a comment from Nessa on my last video saying that she felt it should have been Edge as the final match and that she wanted nostalgia. I absolutely agree. If Edge was an option, then he should have been considered. But I'd also argue that this year we've had a lot of nostalgia in this run. He's faced Orton, he's faced Punk, he's faced Lesnar, R-Truth and Sami Zayn, all people he had previous history with. And I maintain that his better matches this year have come from working with the newer talent, as he doesn't just have to do his kind of greatest hits. Edge would have been a fantastic final option, but I'd have wanted it alongside him working the majority of the year against newer talent. And again, like I said in the video, only if they bothered to actually make this into a real feud, not just a couple of promos without much interaction. But thanks as always for the comment, much love. So today, we're discussing another long-term rival of John Cena, that being The Miz. And this one is quite difficult for me, because in talking about The Miz in 2025, we have to accept how far he has sadly been allowed to fall these last few years. But here goes. The Miz was a guy that I'd go as far to say was wholly made by John Cena. Only real ones out there can remember the spiky hair and shorts wearing Miz. And the amount of real life heat that he brought in with him when he came in, having been a reality TV star, is mad. The Miz was Logan Paul before Logan Paul was. Not enough flowers are given to the guy as he survived a proper hostile locker room back in the day and would spend time grinding the mid-card, and he is the epitome really of hard work paying off. He formed successful tag teams with John Morrison and then later on The Big Show, but in the summer of 2010 he would start the biggest run of his career by far by winning Money in the Bank. He then went on to defeat Randy Orton to become the WWE Champion in November of that same year. By the way, the only wrestler to cash in during the month of November. Just saying. But his run was met with resistance from fans, and it was dubbed a transitional run by many from the get-go. But it would be at WrestleMania 27 where he would do the unthinkable. He beat John Cena in the main event of the show. While more recent times have seen the trope change, with villains like Roman, Lesnar, and even Cena himself winning in the main event, in 2011 this was a rare occurrence. This match was also used to set up Cena's next rivalry with The Rock, so it was a genius bit of booking. Sadly, following Mania, the writing was soon on the wall for The Miz, and he lost the title to John Cena at Extreme Rules. But the history books, and The Miz anytime he gets a microphone, will tell you that Miz did indeed defeat John at the biggest stage of them all. The reason why I think The Miz was a great rival of John Cena was because he was a villain that came around at a time when the fan base was dubbing John Cena as stale, and so he seemed like a cool alternative. Cena has always been a standard bearer for anyone coming out of developmental and making it big in WWE, especially as by 2011 he was a well-tenured guy and he had outlasted his peers in that top OVW class. So the need was there to make a new star, and Cena rose to the task. I think that The Miz should have got another run with the belt, and no, I'm not counting his silly kind of 1 week reign during COVID. In the early 2010s, it felt like they were happy for anyone to get the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's ludicrous to me that Edge got 12 world titles, the same as Hogan, but The Miz sat on just one lonely reign until 2021. He obviously has done wonders for the IC and US championships, but he definitely deserves more. This year he has mentioned several times about how he wanted to face John, and I absolutely believe that if Cena had his way, this match would have happened. Storyline wise too, he got 2 chances in the last Time Is Now tournament, and so it could have made sense for them to find a way to make it happen right at the end. So I'll award it full marks in this category. It would have been easier to do this than the Autumn match, as The Miz hadn't faced him this year, and has also been on television more recently than Randy Orton. They could have found a way to kind of weave it into the feud with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo is on record as saying he's a massive fan of John Cena. So now we get to a realistic chance, and this is where we have to sadly address the kind of elephant in the room here. The fact is that even though the feud makes sense in storyline, the reality is that in 2025, The Miz is not a PLE wrestler, let alone a main event one. His last PLE match was at WrestleMania 40, where he won the Raw Tag Team Championships with R-Truth. By SummerSlam of 2024, he was demoted to being the show's host, and he has done several other media opportunities for the company in his role as a kind of yes man since. He has almost exclusively been used as someone to eat a fall for new people coming in or coming back to the company. So if this was to have happened, he would have needed to seriously spend time upping his stock. If anyone could have done it though, it's The Miz, as he's a grafter. But with how this company sadly books its shows nowadays, it was just not going to happen. So I'm actually going to say about a 3 or 4. I'll go for a 4 for a realistic chance, sadly. I will hold out hope for Cena and him getting maybe a backstage interaction at the show on Saturday, as The Miz definitely deserves a final moment with the GOAT. So finally, the match quality score. Despite not being heavily featured in the ring in the last few years, it is apparent that The Miz can still go. He wrestles a safe style, and he doesn't do any dangerous, crazy spots as part of his matches. This has helped him to be a wrestler that has lasted 2 decades in the company. Yes, you can check that one. And you'd imagine he will see out his days, working for them, even if it's like a media personality once he retires. The match would have been fine, but I'm going to be honest and say it wouldn't have been much more than a TV match at this point. I don't feel he would have been able to push Cena in 2025. At 45 years old, he's not someone the company are putting stock into, even for the next year, let alone the next 5 years. Gunther is someone they are. Gunther's matches always feel PLE quality, and he is someone who WWE, especially Triple H, see as a big part of the future. John absolutely should have faced The Miz at some point this year, though. Maybe one of those TV appearances where John just came out and did a 50-minute promo. That could have been it. It shouldn't have been the last match. Hell no. For me, I'd say it's about a 6 out of 10. But we could have got this as like a short match instead of a promo at some point on this tour. Do better, WWE. The Miz is a future Hall of Famer and deserves more respect in his name. And while we're at it, give him a reason to run alongside him and bring back the inflatable letters for his entrance. He's only a few years younger than Cena, so he isn't going to be around forever. Up next here, guys, I will be doing a review of the final match. But please remember, guys, to check out my shorts on here, as I'll be sharing even more thoughts regarding John Cena. So yeah, guys, please like, share and subscribe for more. It really, really means a lot. And I will endeavour to read as many of your comments as I can. Yeah, and please watch the other episodes in this series, as it means a lot. But now, get out of here before I,